Welcome back, guys. Barrick here, Equity Podcast. We're talking environment today. Are you setting up your environment to help you, or is it setting you up for failure? So the first thing is, what do I mean by environment? And what I mean by environment is your people, the people you're around. Who are you around? The content that you're consuming, the places you are, like your actual physical environment, your surroundings. What are those are the environments. Are we setting those up? Are they setting us up for failure? We can, that environment, those three things, people, what we're consuming, our content, and our surroundings, they're deciding our future decisions now. If I'm constantly thinking about a particular thing, I'm probably going to have a particular thought in the future. If I'm learning about money and I'm focused on this one concept on how to do something, and then a decision comes where I need to make it, I'm probably going to use that decision. So if I'm always negative and something comes up, I'm probably going to be negative if something else happens, right? Or I'm going to not see the benefit in something that happens. If I'm positive, if I'm in a positive environment, when something happens, I can see some positive that comes out of it. So what our environment is doing now is going to have an effect on our future, and that's one of the reasons it's so important. Your home, your workplace, that third place, hopefully it's the gym, but people have other places. What are they like, and are they providing a good experience, right? The people that you're around, are they helping you, or are they hindering you? The content that you consume, what news are you consuming? What podcasts are you consuming? What TV are you consuming? Is it helping you? Is it hurting you? Now we're not trying to say that hey, everything has to be this productive thing, but if you're constantly just watching reality TV and that's the only thing that you're consuming, is that good or bad? Maybe you treat it like a dessert. Hey, I'm gonna listen to some other stuff, but when I just want to kind of relax and shut my brain off, I'm going to watch, a little bit of reality TV. That's fine. But if we're just constantly consuming that, that's going to affect us. When we think about each environment, we want to make sure that it's something positive. I think everybody has seen an example of a negative person in their life that just keeps bringing them down. You've had a bad boss, or you have that uncle that just is always nagging you about, whatever, right? Has that opposite political opinion and just keeps hammering it when, you're just trying to, have a hot dog and play with the kids, right? It's making sure that in the house that we're not having candy at every table. We need to make sure that there's a positive side, right? Instead of having the candy out in the open, you put it away, or you make it hard to get, or you just don't have it in the house at all, right? The people that you interact the most should be the people that bring you up. You're gonna interact with people that do not affect you positively, and we have to still deal with those people, but that doesn't mean that you can't focus on the other people. Put as much interaction to the positivity into the people that bring you up, right? Focus on the building an environment in your workspace that makes you productive and makes you happy and not dreary, right? Making everything, your surroundings, the people, what you're consuming, a positive force in your life and not a negative. It shouldn't be pulling energy, it should be giving you energy. When we start talking about environment, what can happen a lot of times, what we start getting at is like, well, you can give all the environment that you want, but my nature is X, right? We start having this bad self-talk. I'm bad with money. I'm big boned. I can't work out. I'm this. I'm that. And we're like, I was just born this way. And what that question comes up to is nature versus nurture. Let's assume that it's nature. We're just born that way and we can't do anything about it. Well, what can you do about it? Nothing. It's nature. So there's nothing literally you can do about it. So there's no reason fussing about it. But let's say it's half and half, or let's say it's just 1% nurture. Well, nurture, we can control that. We can influence that. We can have a positive impact on that, right? I've kind of already started talking about how I think there's a lot more nurture than nature. Obviously, people have, when there is some nature in that, right? People have different demeanors and whatnot and different personalities, but we can start nurturing the things that we want to see in ourselves. We can start providing that positivity and that feedback and having good people around us, having better surroundings around us to work towards better, like we talk about all the time. So it doesn't matter if it's nature or nurture. We can only control one, so we might as well focus on that one. We might as well focus on the nurture. There's this interesting story that I've heard before. I can't remember what book it's been, but I've heard it referenced a few times in some podcasts. And during Vietnam, right, a very hard, brutal war, there was a lot of the service people that were over there were on drugs like heroin and whatnot. And what the military, especially the higher ups, were worried about is now when they came home, what's going to happen? Like, are we going to have a crisis of people that are addicted to heroin or whatever else they were on because they were taking it there? Are they going to bring that habit over? And what they found was they didn't have that issue at all. As soon as they came back to the States, they stopped and they didn't have a lot of issues. Now, I am not a addiction. I don't have any kind of expertise in that field. This is a story that I've heard multiple times, but like even if it's not 100% true, we still get you get the concept, you get the idea. When you're in that environment, when you're around it all the time, you're gonna do it. But as soon as that environment changes and you're not around that and you don't have those triggers, think about like the atomic habits idea. We want to, if you don't have those triggers, if you're not in that same environment, then you're not going to have that cue for wanting that. And so if you never get the cue to start that habit, you're not going to do it. You're not going to want to do it. So by focusing on our environment, if we want to change something, if we have a bad habit, if we have this bad vice, if we have something that we want to stop, we need to figure out, all right, what's the trigger? What's triggering me to want this? And then we can take that and try to change our environment so we can get rid of that. Or we're going to do the opposite. Hey, I want to start running more. So instead of putting my shoes in the back of the closet where I can't find them, I'm going to keep them by the front door. And just seeing them all the time, that's going to start being the cue. Oh, I'm supposed to be running right now, right? Just making it easier on yourself, setting up your environment for success, to set yourself up for success. We want to be mindful when we're doing that, right? We just don't want to do it blindly. But another one, we talked about the food. I really like tortilla chips. If I can make that hard decision once, at the grocery store. All right, don't buy them. And then I don't have to make that decision every single day I walk by the pantry, or if I have them on the counter. Every single time I walk by that, I say, no, don't eat those. No, don't eat those. No, don't eat those. If I set my environment up and don't have them in there, I only have to make that decision once, and I don't have to do it again. And I don't pull all of that willpower. I don't pull it all so that now it's all wasted, and then eventually I'm just going to hammer the whole bag. So be mindful and explicit on setting up your environment. Design it on purpose. Find the people that really bring the best out you and interact with them more. Find the content that really fills you, that charges your battery, right? Make your surroundings supportive. Find a quote that has your core values, that encompasses your core values, and put that in your house. Put it in your office, right? Put the things that inspire you. This is why people have pictures of their kids all over, at their office, right? If you want to change something, change your environment, and that's one of the tenets in Atomic Habits. I definitely highly recommend that book. Sometimes doing this is hard. It's challenging to do this. One, to identify what it is, what you need to change, and just talking through it can really help. So if you need some help, if you're looking just for somebody to talk to, reach out to me. I'd love to talk to you. And if you have any thoughts, or you want to share what you're struggling with, or you want to share with a change that you made in your environment that helped you, or just tell me your idea. Like, hey, I want to do this one change next week. Let me know. I want to hear from you guys. So thanks for listening, and I look forward to talking to you guys next time. Cheers.